Are you ready to leave the school system? You're ready to leave the school system, but you don't quite know how. There are some things that are holding you back. There's a lot of fear. You're trying to figure out, how am I going to pay my bills? How is this going to work? Where am I going to work? What's going to happen? If those are questions that you're having and things that you're thinking about, this is the video for you. We're going to talk about how to exit the school system in 2024 without stress and overwhelm. I'm going to walk you through 5 practical steps that you need to take. I'm going to give you some options that you may not have known about, and I'm going to help you to exit the school system, keep your sanity, keep your health, and keep all the things that you came there with plus some. Okay. So if you don't know me, I am Chanel DeBose, otherwise known as Dr. D. I was a veteran educator in the school system for over 17 years, moved up the ranks from teacher, instructional coach, instructional facilitator, assistant principal, building principal. But I just didn't want to spend my time like that anymore. And so I was able to leave, create a life of enjoyment, of pure freedom, financial freedom, creative freedom, personal freedom, time freedom. And so now I help other women to do the same. So we're going to talk today about how to quit teaching in 2024. And we're going to go through the ultimate strategy. Now, if you're with me live, give me a hey, what's up, what's going on? I would love to know that you're here with me, as well as if you have any questions, put them in the chat because I'm more than happy to answer them. Also, let me know if you can hear me and if everything is okay on your end, because I don't go live on YouTube often. I want to make sure that you all are able to hear me. So give me some indication in the chat. And remember, I want to interact. I want to be able to help you. The only way I can help you is if you ask questions and that we engage. We always say we don't have anyone to walk us through, to tell us how it's supposed to be, and all of those things. And now you have someone who's sitting right before you, who's done it successfully, and is living an amazing life. And I'm coming back to share strategy with you. So let's get into it. So you're at your job, you've been teaching for however many years. Let me see. I got a few people that's live with me. Tell me how many years you've been teaching. How many years have you been in the school system working? Tell me in the chat how many years. Interact with me, folks. How many years? So I was there for 17 years. And I'll just tell you some of the things that I think you might be experiencing. Many of us are in a building where we are forcing ourselves to smile. I'm just saying. We walk around, and as Black women, we have to smile, or people think that we're mean, we're angry, we're being aggressive. Many of us are not sleeping at night because we are trying to prepare everything. We're busy trying to be mothers and daughters and wives and spouses and all of these things. So we take on too much on our plate. Some of us have high blood pressure. We find ourselves irritable. And then there are some of us who are physically sick from the job. Even when I was in the school system, I would have terrible stomach issues, and it was just horrible. But guess what? I would get up and go to work anyway. So the first step that you have to take, there are 5 steps I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to walk you through what each of them are and what it looks like. The first step is, and it sounds really simple, but it's not. You have to make the decision. You got to make the decision that I'm done. I'm leaving. I'm out of here. Now, the hard part about making the decision for educators is that we're on a school contract. So we're on a contract. While most people can just quit their job in 2 weeks or on the spot, that's not the case for educators. Okay, so Nadine says she was in the school system she's been there for 23 years. And 23 years, I know that's hard. That's why I say you got to first make the decision. You got to, because it's easy to say, I'm going to do one more year. It's easy to say, I'm going to do one more year. It's easy to say, I'm just going to go ahead and push it out. But you got to ask yourself, what are you doing to yourself? What are you doing to your health? What are you doing to your personal relationships? What are you doing to the whole you when you continue to show up at a job that you no longer have passion for, doing things that no longer bring you joy, extending yourself and giving in a way that is really draining you instead of feeding you and uplifting you and making you feel really, really good and purposeful. So you first have to make the decision. You have to say to yourself, I'm done. Now I want you to think about this on the opposite end. If something happened at that school or somebody made you mad, you would say, I'm done. I quit. But you know what? It's not always a situation of anger. But I do want to ask you this. Why is it that if you are mad and angry, you can make a decision and quit on the spot? But you being an intelligent, rational person, knowing that you need to leave a situation that no longer serves you, being reminded of it every single day, you will stay and endure the torture and second guess yourself and talk yourself out of it. And you got to ask yourself why. Do you believe that there is nothing better, that you're not going to be able to replace or increase your income? And that's always an interesting thing, too. Educators will say, I just want to replace my income. Well, why would you do that? You're where you're at right now, the income that you're at is the floor. You've already made that amount. No, we're not just trying to replace our income. And those are those lower level thoughts that we have as educators that are not rooted in abundance. Because why do you just want to replace your income? If I'm going to leave my job and I'm going to go into a new situation, I need to be paid more. I'm expecting to be paid more. I'm looking to be paid more. The understanding is that the floor 67,000 is what I make. I'm not going to another job to make 67,000. I'm going to go to another job with the anticipation and expectation of making more because I'm bringing with me 23 years of experience like Nadine. I'm bringing with me all of this experience and all of these things. And so I want to make more. So the first thing I want us to do when we make the decision, what's the decision you're making? You're making the decision that I'm going to better my life. I'm going to do something different. And we're not going to go into this settle mentality. We're not going to go into this hustle mentality. We're not doing that hustle and grind. Quite frankly, most of us are too old for that. Nadine says she's been in the school system for 23 years. So that lets me know that she's not 23. Okay. And so I need us to understand that we can leave the school system. You can leave in May, June 2024. That's 4 months from now. February, March, April, May, June. That's 4 or 5 months from now. Why does it take us 4 or 5 years to leave? I know that we're on a school contract. And so many of us cannot just quit today. Although in many of these charter schools, you can. They will fire you today because it's at will and you can quit today. But anyway, on a school contract, we typically will stay to the end of the school year. What are we waiting on? Right now, today, there is someone who is listening who knows they need to leave the school system. It is toxic. The people around there are not good for you. The situation no longer serves you. And quite frankly, if you are robbing Peter to pay Paul, you need to leave anyway. But we don't want to make the decision. Tell me in the chat, what's keeping you in the school? Tell me. Let me know so that I can help you walk you through it. So the first thing you need to do, you need to make the decision. You need to assess your current situation. Why are you there? How is it serving you? And what is it that's keeping you there? So once you figure that out, then you need to do the opposite side of what is it costing you? What is it costing you when you stay in a situation that no longer serves you? I want you to think about, like we think about things in compartments, but all things are the same. What happens when you stay in a marriage that no longer serves you? What happens when you stay in a friendship that no longer serves you? They become toxic. It becomes toxic because it's no longer serving you. So now you're out doing other stuff, talking to other people, complaining about the relationship, talking about the job, talking about your best friend. It becomes toxic. And then we sit in these toxic situations until it begins to take a toll on our health because that's your body's way of saying, this is not good. You need to do something. When you first got the thought, that was the first sign. You got the thought. Then things started happening around you. That was the second sign. And then your body began to tell you, that was the third sign. You always get 3 signs. The first time when you miss it, it's just a little thump or a pebble. The second time, it's a rock, you feel it. And then the third time, you get a boulder. And there are so many of us who stay through the boulders that we have to stop doing this to ourselves. So this year, 2024, we have to be willing to walk away from things that no longer serve us. Walk away. So Nadine said it's the fear of the unknown. So Nadine, tell me a little bit. What is the unknown? Here are the things that you do know. I would suggest to you to stop thinking about the things that you don't know and think about the things that you do know, because what you give energy to is what's going to happen. So if you're giving energy to what you don't know, trying to have all of the answers, trying to have everything wrapped up before you leave, that's typically not how it happens. You need to know your next step. You don't need to know A, B, C, D, E. You just need to know what's step A. And then once you get into step A, you'll figure out step B. So focus on the things that you know. You know that you need to leave. You know that you are no longer satisfied. And here's a myth that I'm going to help you all to understand. So, and I want you to check your statements on this. So, like a person such as Nadine, and keep in mind, I don't know if Nadine has this situation in her school system or not, but there are many of us who do. We say we're going to stay till year 25. I'm gonna stay to 25 and I'm gonna retire. And many of that is because of the conditioning that we've been taught and given. So it's almost like the school system gives you permission at 25 years to retire. But if you look at your pension statement, you can retire at any point. It's not a certain point that you need to get to retire. Your pension amount at 23 years is going to be what the pension amount is for 23 years. Your pension amount for 25 years is going to be what it's going to be at 25 years. You're not going to get an extra bump or extra money. That comes after you do that amount. And I'll speak for Missouri anyway. So in Missouri, we have a 25 and out rule. Once you do 25 years, you can go out full pension and everything. And if you stay till 30, you get additional monies. You get a lump sum. But now let me help you to understand what that lump sum means. And I'm going to do this for y'all real quickly. So, oh, where's my calculator? So some of us don't even understand. We see that if I do 25, I'm going to make $3,000 a month. And I want y'all to understand this in context, what it is that's really being said when we stay in these school systems, thinking that we have the best of everything. So when you stay for 25 years, I'm just going to give a rough number. You're going to make you're going to get $3,000 a month in pension. And we know that there are many people who stay 25 years and do not get $3,000 a month in pension in the school system. Okay. So let's be honest about that. But we're going to go with the round number of $3,000. So they tell you, however, if you stay for 30 years, we'll give you $3,600 a month plus a $30,000 lump sum payment for staying that extra 5 years. You with me? Okay, you with me? So what does that mean? So there are those people who will say, oh, well, I'm going to stay the 30 and get that extra $30,000 lump sum payment. Plus, I'm going to get $3,600 a month instead of $3,000 a month. Well, let me help you to understand how this works. So you were supposed to retire at 25 years. And we're just hypothetical numbers. We're going to say you pay $1,000 into your pension every month. So $1,000, and that looks like about $450, $500 every pay period. So when they take your money out of your account automatically, because you don't get a choice, they are taking $450, $500 every 2 weeks. So we're going to go with a round number, $1,000 a month. So you're paying into pension $1,000 a month, which is $12,000 a year. And most of us are paying more than that. I'm just using this for round numbers. So at $12,000 a year times 5 years, that's $60,000 extra that you paid into your pension. So pay attention. At 25 years, had you left at 25 years, retired, moved on to your next thing, planned yourself a different life, you will be getting $3,000 a month. You will be getting $3,000 a month. So that means they needed to pay you $3,000 a month for 12 months times 5 years. That is, let me make sure I'm getting it right. $3,000 a month times 12 is $36,000 a year times 5 years. That is $180,000. You with me? Is that right, y'all? Is that right? 3,000 a month times 12 is 36,000, and 36,000 times 5 years is 180,000. So your pension plan would have paid you between that 25 year that you should have resigned and that 30 year, they should have paid you $180,000. Instead, they're not paying you anything. They're giving you zero. They are giving you zero because you continue to go to work, and and so they just saved $180,000, and you continue to pay them $12,000 a year for 5 more years. So that $12,000 a year times 5 years, that's $60,000. So if you take that 180,000 plus the 60,000, that's $240,000 that should have been paid out, or that you gave back to the pension people. And they're saying to you, for staying 5 more years and letting us profit and benefit 240 more $1,000, we're going to give you a bonus of $30,000, and then we're going to up your pension to $3,600 a month. This is the sad part that I have to tell you all. When we stay for 30 years, okay? So obviously you see the flaw in this formula when you can clearly leave that job at 25 years, collect that pension, have that pension, and go and do some work somewhere else using the same expertise that you currently have. Of course, I'm gonna recommend consulting, because people like Nadine should be teaching other people, how other teachers, new teachers, and less experienced teachers, how to do the thing that they did. Because teachers need to be teaching other teachers, and not these big businesses who've never taught in the classroom and experienced any of the issues that happen in the classroom. So now, and again, add your questions into the comments so I can ask you. But I got 4 more steps for y'all. But I want you to understand how you're going to make this decision. So then here's the kicker. You stay for 30 years. Let's just say you graduated college at 22 and got your first job as a teacher at 22. Well, at 22, then you stayed for 30 years. So now you are 52 years old. So you're 52 years old. Well, the pension plan says if you pay into this pension, we will, if you pay in 30 years, you should get 30 years back out. If you pay in, you should get 30 years back out. Yes, you should. But if you retire at 52, and most of us don't retire at 52, most of us don't. 30 years onto that will be 82. Life expectancy is 76. The average life expectancy in the United States of America is 76. And if we can be honest, and if you can look around, you know that due to health issues, high blood pressure, cancer, heart attack, all of the things in real life, we may not make it to 76. We all want to make it to 76, but we may not make it to 76. So why are we giving our best years to a school system that is toxic for us, that no longer serves us, that we can work in a different way? So I want you to think about that. Nadine says, agreed, but what if your area of expertise is not hot on the market right now? And Nadine, what's your area of expertise? Because I don't know a market in education that's not hot right now. The problem would be, in most situations, you have to look at it from a different angle. A lot of teachers, and this is what I've experienced being in consulting for the past almost 7 years. A lot of teachers will leave or want to leave the school system and do the exact same thing that they've already been doing. That don't really make sense, because what you were doing is already outdated for most of us. It's already outdated. You need to think to yourself, How can I use my skill in a different way to serve a need that exists right now in society? Right now, we have a whole immigration issue. And the teachers who teach ESOL, ELL, whatever the terminology is that you all use in your state, English as a second language learner, English language learners, whatever your we call them ELLs here, English language learners. That's an area that's blowing up. Like that is a real area that all you have to do, you can think about what is the area, how do I want to impact this? So you could do AI for ELLs. You can do project-based learning for ELLs. It does not matter what it is you're thinking. You just have to think about it in a different way. Yeah, she said also AI and language learning. Exactly. And then you're doing it specifically for that content because you know the strategies you use to teach that content. So I was talking to someone the other day, and she said that she is the person in her district who helps all of the kids to get certified for these programs in school to come out with certifications in technology. So she helps you to get Adobe certified, Google certified, all of these things. Pretty neat, pretty interesting. And she was like, but I don't know how I would use that in the marketplace. Really? Do you know how many schools would love to have their kids come out certified in a computer tech area and able to get jobs because many kids are not going to school yet? I mean, not going to school anymore, but it's all about how you position it. You have to understand what it is you're selling and how to do it, and you're going to do it a different way. Instead of you being in front of the classroom teaching the kids, you're going to be training the teachers on how to teach the kids. You're going to be helping them through the paperwork. You're going to show them, you're going to be the cheat code for them. You've already done the thing. You've already experienced it. You've already had great success in it. And so now you're going to help other people to replicate that success without having to make all of the mistakes that you made. So again, I'm going to say, make the decision. Assess your current situation. Figure out what it is you want to do and why it is you want to do it. And then declare, this is it. I'm resigning. And there's also a grieving process that goes with that because when you decide that you're leaving, again, it's like a marriage. Just like if you were leaving your marriage, one person knows before the other one, and they are already mentally preparing. That's what needs to happen with you. You got to mentally prepare. You got to understand that people are going to be asking you, oh my God, why'd you leave? Like if Nadine leaves after 23 years, everyone has known Nadine as a teacher for 23 years. And so when she says to them, I'm no longer a teacher or I'm serving teachers in a different way, people are going to be shocked. They are going to be surprised. Too many of us are worried about what people are going to say. Those are the very same people who are living in misery, going to jobs that they don't like and living a life that they hate. So why would you let what they think or say impact you? Moving on. Number two, calculate your cost. You need to calculate your cost. So right now you have a standard of living. You have a house note, you have a car note, you have car insurance, you have all of these things that you have to pay every single month. And so you're probably trying to figure out, and this is probably fear of that unknown Nadine was talking about. You're trying to figure out, how am I going to pay my bills if I quit my job and don't have any income coming in? So the first thing that I want you to know, I see something in my hair. So the first thing that I want you to know is that you are an extremely smart, you're an intelligent, rational, creative, amazing individual. You are resourceful and you know how to get things done. And there is nothing in my heart that would lead me to believe that if you resign from your job, you're just going to sit there and twiddle your fingers and say, oh my God, I quit my job. I don't know what to do. Oh my God, I don't know what to do. I don't believe that that's what's going to happen. I don't believe that that's what you're going to allow to happen. So prepare for it in advance. I know that when push comes to shove, you're going to do what you need to do. But let's just say hypothetically, you put in the resignation. You decide today, I'm quitting my job. June 2024 is my resignation date. We're going to give it a date. June 15th. That's my last day. Or for many of us, June 30th. June 30th is my last day. I'm putting in my resignation in May, letting them know I will not be coming back. And then you got to process the sadness, the grief, because you're giving up a part of your life. So just like in a marriage, there is a grieving process. You're going to go through denial. You're going to go through an anger phase. You're going to go till you finally get to acceptance. You're going to try to negotiate with yourself. Okay, well, maybe we can do this. Maybe we can do that. Anybody the facilitating leader says, this is the stage I'm at right now. Right. You got to go through the grieving process. So I would definitely recommend you look up the 7 stages of grieving because it's real. And once you understand what you're going through, you're able to move through it better. I can tell you this, when I had to go, when my mom was getting ready to move into her ancestorhood, it was devastating. And then this hospice nurse, she gave me this pamphlet. When she gave me this pamphlet, it walked me through the grieving process. And as I was reading through it, I was like, oh my God, I'm doing this right now. This is where I did this. Oh my goodness. And I was super shocked to see, but then I knew what the next stage was. Like the next thing I had to go, it was denial. I was telling myself, she's not going to die. She's going to come through. She's going to make it through. She's going to make it. I believe in God. God going to save her. And I was in denial. And so I had to move through it. I had to move through to the next stage. And then I finally got to acceptance. Not soon, but I made it through acceptance that she is not going to be with us and I'm going to have to figure out a new life for myself. And that's the same stage that you have to go through in leaving a job, because it's like letting go of a marriage or losing a loved one. She said the 7 stages of grief are so helpful. Yes, Sidra, they are. So that's the thing that I would definitely say. Figure out your stages of grief, but then you got to calculate your cost. You have to figure out what it is I'm spending, what my monthly is, and what can I eliminate? What are the things that I have that I can eliminate? I will tell you right now, when I left the school system, that took away my coffee runs. I picked up coffee every day. I had no idea that I was spending as much money on coffee and lunch at school. I had no clue. So calculate your expenses. What is the bare minimum that you need to be able to make it? What's the bare minimum? And then what's the number that's going to make you comfortable? And so once you calculate your cost, then you know how long you can make it without a job. Because we also don't want to leave one job and go just hop into any job out of desperation. And I'm going to tell you, as an option, some of us need to consider. We got a pension. We got money sitting there. Okay. That's a last choice option. But there are others of us who need to be on FMLA. And quiet as it's kept, like I'm going to go ahead and say this to y'all. I'm going to go ahead and say this. Some of y'all got lawsuits. Some of you all need to be speaking with an attorney around harassment, ageism, racism, toxic work environment. Some of you all can leave from the money that you're going to get from the district for your lawsuit, because there are people who are being totally abused in the system. And they continue to show up every day. Their principals are harassing them. Their colleagues are harassing them. I will tell you, when I was a principal, I had 2 teachers, and I'm telling you, the one teacher would do stuff to this other teacher. One was older, one was younger, but not younger. She had been teaching for like 10, 12 years. And the other teacher had been teaching for 20 something years. But when I say every single day, that teacher, that veteran teacher, did something to that younger teacher. The girl started she started keeping a log of what was happening. And when she started keeping the log, every day she did something. And it was, sometimes it was little small stuff, and then other days it was big stuff. One day she had a meeting with the rest of the team did not invite her, did not tell her or anything. Then one day she put her on, I go to the to their planning meetings one time a month. And so I go to the planning meeting, and I don't know any of this is going on, okay? But I do realize that there's tension in the room. And so she put the teacher on the spot, knew that she didn't invite her to the planning meeting, made it seem like she didn't do her work and that she was behind and that she's incompetent. And I'm sitting there as the principal. I have no clue this is going on. And so I'm absorbing. And so I guess that was the thing that pushed everything over. That teacher set up a meeting to meet with me, showed me all of her documentation. Y'all, at that point, I said, oh crap, I got to do something. Because if I don't do something, this lady gonna have a harassment lawsuit and a toxic workplace lawsuit. I'm the principal, so that's coming down on me. I need to figure something out. A lot of y'all got lawsuits. I'm telling you, I had to go talk to that teacher and let her know you cannot continue to do this. You cannot continue to do this. She spread rumors all throughout the building on this lady, talked about her behind her back. She made the workplace unbearable for that 35, 36-year-old teacher, all because she said she thinks that she's better than her. Well, you know what? If that teacher had been willing to go through with it and go over to HR and actually get an attorney, she could have went out on stress leave. She could have gotten paid, and she could have sued the district because we did nothing to stop what was happening. And in some instances, I will say the perpetrator was incentivized to continue doing what she was doing, because then she was getting, while we thought that we were eradicating the situation, we were actually incentivizing her by allowing her to leave early, by doing little things to keep them away from one another. We were incentivizing her. And so when the district attorney came in, and I just wanted to ask the question because I wanted to make sure that I was doing everything that I could do for the teacher who was being harassed. Because again, you don't know what you don't know. When that attorney told me all the things that I should have done, all the things the district should have done, and explained to me, you better hope that this lady don't get an attorney, because if she do, we're going to lose this lawsuit. It's so many of y'all out there who got lawsuits for harassment, but we're scared that we're going to hurt somebody's feelings. Guess what? They hurt your feelings every day. We're scared that somebody's going to be mad at us. We don't want the other teachers to think badly or poorly of you. You better call that attorney. That's how you're going to quit in 2024. Calculate your cost. Some of us need to take FMLA and use that time to buy us more time. Some of us need to look into a sabbatical. Yep, look at your handbook. I didn't know my district gave sabbaticals. You could take a 1-year sabbatical and come back guaranteed to your position. I'm just giving you options. I am giving you options. Okay, so, and don't be afraid to take them. Like you got to be willing to explore. And let me say this, when you go to your doctor for your FMLA, ladies, stop going into the doctor's office asking questions and asking for permission. I'm coming to see if I can take 2 days off work. No, sis, you're going in. You need him to sign this paperwork. You are stressed out, overwhelmed, and at burnout, and you're about to have a nervous breakdown. I need some time off work. I need you to fill out these FMLA papers right now. If he does not do it, you need to go find you a new doctor. The doctor works for you. You do not work for the doctor. You know how you're feeling. Do not sit there letting people tell you how you are feeling. And let me tell you, a lot of the reason why we will not do the thing that we need to do is not your fault. It's not your fault. Now put your questions in the chat if you got questions. Sidra says we need to make ourselves the priorities. The priority, that's correct. And right now we're so worried about paying the bills. We're so worried about taking care of the kids. We're so worried about making sure we got a roof over our head. Guess what? The best way to take care of your children is to take care of their mother. I'm going to say that again for the person who missed it in the back. The best way to take care of your children is to take care of their mother, because who's going to take care of your kids like you do when you dead? When you dead and gone, who taking care of them kids? Somebody who ain't going to love them the way you did. So we really have to put things into perspective. We are at the point, we have made these jobs our God. It never ceases to amaze me when it ceased to amaze me when I was in the school system. I would call parents and tell them your kid just had whatever situation, and they would literally say, "Don't call me on my job. I'm at work. I can't miss work. My job." Because that's the only thing that matters. We got to stop believing that. We're putting our trust in our faith in the wrong people. That job don't care about you. If you die today, they not coming to your funeral. One or two might come, and they only coming for the optics of it. That job does not care about you. They're gonna put a sub in your classroom tomorrow, and nobody's gonna remember your name a year from now. Those kids are not going to remember who you are. A few of them will, but we need to stop this with this disillusion and this delusional onlook of what things are and how they should be. Facilitating leader says, what are the benefits of getting FMLA? So FMLA, I can tell you, must have accumulated must one have no FMLA is a federal mandated law that says that you can take up to 12 weeks off work penalty free, and that can be consecutively or intermittently. Okay, so when I took I've taken FMLA 3 times. See, I don't play. You're not gonna do me in. I've taken FMLA 3 times. I took it 2 times. No, I've taken it 4 times. I took it with both of my pregnancies. Um, I've been pregnant 3 times. I took full FMLA with both of my pregnancies. I had a surgery. I took FMLA, and then I took FMLA for my mom. So you can take it for yourself if you're caring for a loved one. Many of us are caring for loved ones, and we don't even have the FMLA paper signed. That's stressful. You're trying to take care of mama, daddy, grandpa, them, auntie. You're trying to take care of them. You're going over every evening after school, cooking food, cleaning them up, helping them out. You need to get the FMLA paper signed. So let me answer your question. What's the benefit of getting FMLA? FMLA is a federally mandated program. You get up to 12 weeks off work, and it's penalty free. That means that you can take off, no questions asked, no harassment, and they cannot fire you. They cannot fire you, and they cannot bring it up in your evaluations. Okay. So when you take FMLA, that's a federal mandated law. And if your job act crazy, again, we got another lawsuit. We got another lawsuit. If they fire you, you got another lawsuit. The problem is we are so afraid of what people think about us that we won't do what we need to do to take care of us. So you can take FMLA for injuries, for illnesses, for pregnancies, for mental health. You can take it for family members. You can take it if you, just like when you have a newborn, if you adopt a child, you can take it for a number of things. So if you look it up online, they give you all of the information because, again, it's a federal mandate. So everybody follows the same laws. It's not state by state. This is federal. And you get 1 year, 12 weeks in 1 year. And it's amazing. I took it with my mom. Like when I have doctor's appointments with her, I would just do a half day FMLA, a full day FMLA. You don't have to give any explanation. I need to go to a doctor's appointment. You take FMLA and go on a vacation because that's your mental stress. I'm just saying, we've had several people in the community who that was their entryway into leaving the system. They took FMLA to make sure that this is what they wanted to do. So FMLA is definitely, you don't have to have accumulated personal and sick days. Now, your pay policy is something different. And I will say that many of you all, this is another thing. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna try to get this together so I can get y'all these 5 steps. Okay. Another thing that we don't do, many of you all have short-term disability and long-term disability, and you can take the FMLA, which is unpaid. And if you have sick days and personal days, they will pay you that while you're out on FMLA. But many of us have short-term disability where you can use that short-term disability to pay you while you're out on FMLA. There are too many of us who don't even look at the option. We don't even explore what our options are. You're paying for short-term disability anyway. You're paying for long-term disability anyway. The people are giving you 12 weeks off work. Plan your 12 weeks off work. Go to the doctor, get your paperwork, get it signed, get it sent over to HR. You don't have to take it immediately. You want it on record that you are certified with FMLA. You have asthma. You've been sick all year. All you need to do is go let the doctor know. That's all you need to do. That's it. That's all. So I want us to understand that you have options, but you do need to make sure that you are following the protocol, the guidelines, getting the paperwork done, and not being afraid to ask the doctor for the paperwork and call back. Did you send it? Okay, I need it sent in. So calculate your cost and then know what it is that you need. Many of us, we have a bit of a cushion because we've been working all these years. We ain't worked all these years to only have 1 cent. And so, and then the other thing that I will tell you is that when you are not working, when you are not in the school every day, opportunities will present themselves to you. See, they can't present themselves to you right now because everybody knows you're at school every single day. You're not available. There's no need in calling Sidra. There's no need in calling Pansy. There's no need in calling Nadine because she's at work. She's at school. But once you are at home, people will begin to call you and pay you for things that they need help with. That might be babysitting. That might be tutoring their kid, that whatever the thing might be. But people will begin to call you. One of the misconceptions that we have to work on is that money and that income and job are connected. A job is where you go to make money. You're going there, you're given an exchange of hours and time. You're under the guidance of your supervisor. You can't do as you please, when you please, how you please. Income is just money coming in. Money coming in. It's not connected to a job. So you can have a job, you can have income without a job. And that's what we have to get out of our heads. So number 3. So how to quit teaching in 2024. First, you're going to make the decision. Then you're going to calculate your cost. And then number 3, before you even go, you're going to begin your networking with others. How are we going to leave and make more money than we did when we were in the school system? Because I don't advise for any of you all. We're dreaming a bigger dream, people. We are not leaving to replace our income. We are leaving for a better situation, more money, more opportunity, more freedom, more whatever the thing is that you desire. So we're gonna stop this mindset that I just need to replace my income. I please don't say that again. You that's your floor. Why do you want to go in at the floor? You're making $67,000 a year. Why do you think that 67,000 is sufficient for your next job? No, if I'm at 67, I want to make at least 70 on my next job. So we want to begin to network with others. Here's the thing that most of us don't understand, that we kind of get past us because we are so absorbed in the teaching world. We are so absorbed in going to school, helping the kids, being of service, building the community, doing all of this, that we don't realize that our friends and family and people that we know, they already know you need to leave teaching. They already know that you need to leave. They already know several jobs that you would be good at if it's a job that you're looking for. They already know this. They're already aware. They were hoping that you would come to them to ask them for advice. So they know teachers need support. So when you let other people know, and I'm not talking about the family members who gossip about you and talk about you behind your back, who are working the job that pays them $16 an hour. Those are not the people I'm talking about. You should not even be concerned talking your business life with those folks because they can't serve and support you. What are we doing? See, I'm not going to talk to the factory worker about my career. And that's not to say that their career isn't important. I'm just saying I'm trying to do something a little different. And so I'm going to talk to someone who can help me to do something different. And that's no disrespect to any career. But I'm saying if you want to get to networking with people who can help you, you need to get with someone who is above where you are and where you're trying in the positions that you're trying to go to. So you got to be willing to talk and let people know. Nadine says that's the truth. Money is not connected to a job. It is not. You can have a job or you can have income. I have income, and I have several streams of income that come into my household. And I do not go to a job at all. I have not been into a job since 2018. And I'm living the best I've ever lived in my entire life. And it's simply because once people found out that I was not in the school system anymore, they've already thought about what you would be good at, how you could help them, what you could do for them, what jobs are available, how you would fit right in. But they know you're not going to leave your teaching career. So you need to network with others. Let them know what it is that you're doing and that you're looking for a different option. Now, this is still in the school year. So let's just say right now you've decided that you are not going back in 2024. We're going to say the rest of this month, you're going to go through the grieving process. And then in February, your job is to begin to network with others to let them know that you're looking for some different options. You're currently a teacher and you're looking for some different options. And I would also recommend that you already know what it is you want to do. What skills do you need to attain? What do you need to upgrade? See, the reason why we leave the teaching world and then think that, we're just going to go do the exact same thing. Why would you want to do that? I would not want to leave one job doing one thing and go just to another building. That always surprised me about teachers. You'll leave one building that you've been at for 15 years as an English teacher to go over to another building to spend 15 more years there as an English teacher, doing the same thing, just with a different set of kids. Because we don't want to change. We want to stay in our comfort zone. And I'm talking about for the teachers who are ready to leave. I'm not talking about for the lifelong teachers. There are lifelong teachers who were meant to be in the school year all year. And again, if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please subscribe and press that like button for me. Press that little thumbs up button if this video is serving you, and share this out. Folks, share this out. There are people who are suffering right now in these school systems, and they need this support right now. Okay, so let me help y'all to know that we're going to talk about this networking with others, but I want to go back to this idea that some of us think that it's bad, or you are lazy, or you're ungrateful for wanting to leave because you got a good job. We were taught, go to school, get a job, stay there for 30 years, and then retire and live your good life. What they forgot to tell you was you were going to be miserable. That you were going to be miserable. That worked in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s. But now that we're in 2024, things are different. Things are not the same. And why are we trying to live off of a standard that was set in 1960 for 2023 or 2024 when it no longer works? But we were conditioned, especially as Black women, and women in general, we've been conditioned to believe some of these things. As a kid, when you woke up and you were not feeling well and you were sick, many of us, what did our parents tell us? You're not sick, go ahead and go to school. If it get really bad, then call me. What does that tell us? You go to work when you're sick. If you're not in the hospital, and some of us had those parents who told us, if you're not ready to go to the hospital, then you're going to school. Unless this is a hospital-worthy illness, you're going to school. Anybody have those parents who you went to school, rain, shine, sleet, or snow? You were the kid who had perfect attendance every single year and was proud of it. You flaunted that perfect attendance certificate around, and you were super proud. Your mom talked about how, yeah, Tanya got perfect attendance again this year. And it was something to be honored back then. But what did it teach us? It taught us to go to school when you're sick. It taught us that how you're feeling does not matter. It taught us that you need to push through. You need to make it work. You only miss school if it's extreme emergency, you're about to die. And so what are we doing now in our jobs? We're going to school when we're sick. We won't do unless the doctor tell us don't go, we're going. And many times the doctor will tell us don't go, and we go anyway. We were conditioned. We go to work sick. We've been conditioned for that. We were conditioned that perfect attendance is a priority. There are those of us sitting up 40, 50, 60 sick days, vacation days, personal days, and we taunt it as if it's a good thing. I was talking to a teacher the other day, and that lady told me she had 180 sick days. You heard me, 180. Now, my eyes bucked, and I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, I have 180 sick days and I'm nearing retirement. And I was asking them how I'm going to use, what do they do for the sick days? Will they pay me out for them? How does it work? Do you know those people told her that they was going to pay her $25 a day for her sick day? 180 sick days. Now, typically, you're going to pay a sub 125, 150, $200 in some states. And you telling me you're going to pay me $25 for not taking my sick day. And so what does that also say about her? It's saying about her that she never took care of her personal health. She never had a mental health day. That is Sidra said it right. It's a form of trauma response. It is a form of trauma response. We go to work to find our value. We go to work to feel important. We go to work to have friends. We go to work because we don't have anything else to do. People, we got to fix this. We got to fix this. This is not okay. You should have friends that are not related to your work. You should have people in your life who bring you joy. You should have hobbies that you can do that help you, that grow you, that feed into you, and that bring you joy. Many of us don't even have a hobby. What are your hobbies? Put them in the chat so that the people who don't have a hobby, maybe they can pick up a hobby. Some of us is sewing. Some of us is dancing. And then some people will say, my hobby is dancing. When was the last time you went dancing? Last year, 2 years ago. No, if your hobby is dancing, you're doing it every month. That's what a hobby is. A hobby is not something that you do every now and then. A hobby is something that you do frequently because you enjoy doing it. It brings you joy. Then there's the misconception or the myth that we were all fed, you got to work twice as hard. How many of y'all been doing that? You've been working twice as hard. Baby, you can't work your way into being valuable. Some of us think that the harder we work, the more we are valued. And at this big age, you should know that that's not true. You should know that that's not true. You cannot work yourself into being valuable. You got to work twice as hard. As a belief that has been fed us. And that's why we keep showing up. That's why we keep giving more and more and more. And we think that the more that we give, the more valuable we're going to be. And they're going to see that we're of value and we're going to be treated better. And all of this stems from this idea of Black excellence. We believe that Black excellence is the goal. Black excellence has not served you. It has not. I'm sorry. You still experience racism. You still experience sexism. Black excellence has not served you. You still don't get paid as much. You still are not equal. So what are we talking about? And this is for our people who are at the pinnacle. They are at the pinnacle. They have all of the degrees, 2, 3, 4 degrees. They have the big name jobs. They have the big house. They have the big car. They have the 2.3 kids. They got the dog. They got the white picket fence. And they have not removed themselves from any of the torture, any of the circumstances that we have. But we work twice as hard. For what? I advise you to opt out. I'm advising you to opt out. It has not served you. Why do we continue to engage in things that don't serve us and then complain about it as if we have no control over the situation? It has not served you. Opt out, sis. Opt out. So let's get back to networking with others. First of all, we got to get out of the house. See what happens. We wake up in the morning. We get dressed, go through our morning routine. We go to school. We stay at school from 7 a.m., 7:30 until 4:30. We leave school. We drive home. That's another hour. We get home at 5:30, 6 o'clock. We cook dinner. We make a few phone calls. We watch a little Netflix. We get on social media. We check a few papers. We look over a lesson plan. and we go to bed, and we do it over and over and over and over for 15, 20, 30 years. On the weekend, we get excited because it's the weekend. Now I can live my real life, but you're so tired from the week, you want to sleep in late. You still got to do grocery shopping. You still have to do laundry. You still got to take mama to the store. You still got to go to church. You still got to do all of these things. What is happening here? So we got to get out of the house. We're going to places where other working people are. That's not networking. That's not networking. You're not networking at the laundromat because 9 times out of 10, the person at the laundromat can't put you in position. You're not networking when you're doing chores. The people who are doing the chores, those are not the people that you're trying to network with. So you have to put yourself in situations to network. You have to go to event. You have to go to the galas and the charitable donation things, and to different places, and put the word out. Let people know. One of the best things that I could have done when it was time for me to go was to make people aware. I put my people on notice. Hey, I'm looking to do something different. I want to get out here. I want to network. Let me know of any events that are coming up that I can go to that will be good networking for me. See, I didn't know what would be good networking for me because I had been in the school system for almost 20 years. So I didn't know how to make this happen. But I knew that if I put it out to people who knew more than me in that realm, that they would be able to support me. People were sending me stuff. Hey, there's a Christmas party here. This will be filled with all high-level lawyers and police officers and this, and that. You should drop by. Okay. I wouldn't have known about that had I not put it out, because they would have said, she's not going anyway. She has no reason to go. But when you put it out there, people begin to think of you, and that's what you want them to do. But you being scared of what people are going to say, how they're going to judge you, this is all I'm going to tell you. Sis, they talked about Jesus. They judged Jesus. Why do you think you're above that? Why? You're not above it. I'm sorry, you're not. Just be okay with it, because what people say about you behind your back is none of your business. It's none of your business. So put the call out, put the back call out. Now, yeah, there's no need. Like some people, not to send it to, but there are people who can help you that are right there in your phone. And then we have to get outside of our circle. When it came time for me to leave, my best friend wasn't the person who I needed to talk to about it. My best friend has been a teacher for 23 years, and she will retire from her teaching job. And that is all fine and well for her. And I am happy for her, because that is what she wanted to do. But me talking to her about me needing to leave the school system was not beneficial, because what's going to happen? She's scared for me. Your mom is scared for you. Your dad is scared for you. Your sister is scared for you. And they're going to say, girl, how you going to pay your bills? They're going to help you think about all of the negative things. Girl, well, where you going to get insurance at? Well, you got summers off. How you going to get summers off? What about your pension? They're going to bring up all the things that you do not need to hear, because you've already thought about it 672 times. So why are you talking to those people? But I guarantee you, if you went and talked to somebody who had already done it and who was living their life happily, they would say, oh, good for you. Don't worry about that insurance and pension. You'll be okay. It'll work out. And they'll begin to tell you their story to uplift you. And then you'll be able to ask a few questions. But you cannot go to people who have never had the experience that you're looking for and think that they're going to be able to give you information or advice that's going to support you. So you got to get outside of your circle. How do I find different circles, Chanel? Well, we're in an age of social media. We got online communities. You need to get into some online communities. We need to stop using social media to just, look at other people's lives, and use it to enhance our own lives. So you can join some online communities. They have meetups in each state. You need to join some organizations. What are the organizations that you can join that are in your area where you can go and engage in some networking? But most importantly, You got to be vulnerable. See, we got to get off our high horse, educators. See, we've been in the classroom teaching kids, and we're the sage on the stage. We got all of the answers. We know it all. And so when we get into non-classroom situations, we want to maintain that same demeanor. No, that's not the way that's going to work. You need to be vulnerable. I love to say the words, I'm looking for some help. I'm looking for some assistance. Can you please help me? I'm trying to serve teachers in a different way. I'm trying to use my skills in a different way. I've never done this before. And so I'm trying to leave the school system, but I don't know how. You will be amazed at the responses that people give you and the things that they've already thought about that you didn't know that they would be thinking about. So I want us to network with other people online, in person, at events. You need to seek opportunities. Many of them are not going to just drop into your lap, but I promise you this. If you put yourself in a position to be lucky, put yourself in a position to be lucky, and you will find that luck will find you. Number 4, we need to be all in. We need to be all in. What does that mean? We got to be all in. I'm leaving. There is no plan B. See, too many of us will say, well, I'm just going to take a week off and see if that makes me feel better. I don't find many people who take that week off and come back. They're refreshed for 2 days, and then they're ready for the next break and the next break and the next break. You got to be all in. Once you make the decision, you've been through the grieving process. You've explored why you need to leave. You're certain that this is what needs to happen. You know that this job is no longer serving you. You've calculated your cost. You understand that once you resign from this job, you're going to get checks all the way to July. And then come August, you're going to need to find a way to bring in some money. Sis, you're going to be able to do it. You're not the person who's going to sit there and twiddle their thumbs and not know what to do. You're going to let people know by networking with other people that you are looking for different options. You're going to enhance your skills after you have calculated that cost, you're going to figure out what it is you need to do. And you don't need to know every step. You just need to know the next step. First step is to make the decision. Calculate your costs. Begin to network with others. Put it out there. Let other people know. Get out of the house. Move outside of your circle. Get into some online communities. And be vulnerable. Be willing to ask for help and be willing to receive the help. And then number 4 is be all in. It's going to work or it's going to work. There is no plan B. Ain't no plan B. Ain't no, if I don't find no job, I can always go back to teaching. You left teaching because it no longer served you. What did you think? That now it's going to serve you? No, that's where misery comes from. I tell you what, when George Floyd got killed, because he didn't just die, he got killed. When George Floyd got killed, that man who put his knee on that man's neck for nearly 9 minutes shouldn't have been at that job. He knew he needed to leave years before that. He knew he was in the wrong place. He knew that job was no longer serving him, and he showed up every day for the check. How many of y'all are showing up every day just for the check? Because the check is your God. The check is the thing that you depend on. The check is your salvation. The man who killed George Floyd knew that the job was no longer serving him, and he went every day to get the check. That's how he was able to keep his knee on that man's neck for 9 minutes. Because he was in the wrong job, wrong role, with the wrong heart. And truth be told, many of us in the classrooms are in the wrong job, wrong role, wrong heart. We love the kids, but we don't want to be bothered with kids. That's the wrong heart, people. We think that this generation is off to a terrible start. It's the worst you've ever experienced. Wrong heart. We think that parents are no longer parents and they should be ashamed of themselves. They get on my nerves. They want us to teach their kids. Wrong heart. We got to be all in. It didn't work. It's okay. It doesn't mean that you failed. It doesn't mean that you quit. It means that you moved on to the next thing. No one made it a rule that you have to stay for 30 years. And guess what? Rules were meant to be broken. You do not have to have permission to leave. You got to be all in. Let me tell you how I was all in. When I left, I said, I'm not going back to teaching. No matter what happens, I'm not going to be a principal again. I don't want to lead a building. I'm not doing that. I let my certification expire. Because guess what people will say? Well, it's a school over here. They're hot. They're looking for an English teacher. No, I left that. I'm not doing that anymore. No, no. There are too many other things that you can do. And it's too many ways to make money, and it's too much money out here to be made. You're going to transform those teaching skills into a new job, but or into a new way of making income. Whichever one works for you. Not everybody wants to own their own business. Not everybody wants to have to make decisions and be responsible for the decisions that they make in regards to their business. Not everybody wants to do that, and I totally respect that. But what is it that you want to do? Do you want another job out of the teaching industry? Do you want to teach just in a different way? What is it that you want to do? You got to know that first. That's right. Facilitating leader says different seasons of life require different choices. And we can't keep making the same choice over and over and think we're going to get a different result. So you got to be all in. It's going to work or it's going to work. It's either going to work on you or it's going to work for you. But you got to be all in. I just posted a video on my Instagram page of one of my clients. She was all in and she was getting discouraged. She was getting discouraged. I felt it. I felt it. She was getting discouraged. And she kept going because she was all in. She quit. She left. She didn't have a backup. Too many of us think that we're supposed to have a backup. We're supposed to have a plan. Let me tell you something. When a man decides that this job ain't working for him, he don't wait 2 years to quit. And the men are the providers of the home, but they know that they can go out and find another job. That's what I want y'all to understand. You can find another job. Why do we think that this one job is the salvation and glory to it all? When the boss talk crazy to the man quit on the spot. Who got them husbands who done quit jobs? I was sitting at home one day. I've only known my husband to have one. He tried to work one time. My husband lasted, I'm gonna give it 6 days at this location. He went into a location and was spraying cars for them. He paints cars for a living. When I came home from school, he was at home. And I was like, what you doing home? He didn't y'all work till 5 o'clock. He said, oh, I'm not doing that. I quit. What? And I'm thinking to myself, so you just make a decision. You don't consult me. You have determined and done it and is home. And that said to me, if he can do it, why you wasn't scared? He said, because I got skills. I know I can get another job if I need to, but I don't need to work for anybody. I'm gonna work for myself. That was eye-opening to me. He wasn't stressed out. Of course, as the man being the provider of the home, he had to figure it out real quick. A lot of y'all think that y'all can't figure it out, and y'all figure out harder stuff every single day. So I want us to be all in. It's going to work on you or it's going to work for you. But let me go back to the post that I made on Instagram. I have a client. She was getting discouraged. She had been doing this work for almost a year. It might have been a little over a year. And she had not won one contract, not one. Not one. She made some money. Now, don't get me wrong. She made some money, but we want the big money. We want the big contracts. So doing a PD here for $2,000, doing a PD there for $2,200, doing a PD over here for $1,800, that's enough to get you through, to bring some money into the household. However, she had been doing this work for a little over a year, but she was steadfast. She was persistent. And that's what I mean by all work works. It's either going to work on you or for you. She continued sending out her emails, making her phone calls, networking, doing all the things she needed to do. Notice that none of what I said was building a landing page, creating that logo. That's not the stuff that gets you contracts. She sent an email out on December 7th. She got a response back. Not only does the lady want her to come and do one set of trainings, she needs her to do that same set of trainings at 4 facilities. That's enough money to last her the whole year. See, we don't even understand our options. And so because she continued, because she stayed steadfast, she received her reward. And the reward was much bigger than what she thought it was going to be. We got to stop making the job our only priority. Make your happiness the priority. Make your health the priority. Make you living your dream life the priority. But you got to be all in. And I got to tell y'all a little secret about being all in before I wrap this up. Being all in means that you're in to win it all, but you're also in to lose it all. Yeah. When you're all in, you got to be willing to take the wins with the losses and the losses with the wins. And a lot of us think that being all in is only about winning. No, it's about failing. It's about making mistakes. It's about not knowing. It's about being scared. It's about being courageous. It's about doing it anyway and knowing at the onset, I don't care. I'm not quitting. I'm not giving up. I may pivot a little bit, but I'm not quitting. I'm not giving up. I'm not doing that. I'm all in. I'm all in on this thing. I'm all in. Think about it. Think about a marriage. When you go into a marriage, you are all in. Well, most of us, you're all in. So, step number 5, the last thing is you got to develop an exit plan. Develop an exit plan. First of all, what's your timeline? You made the decision. You calculated your cost. You've been networking with other people. You know that you're all in. Now, what's the date? Are you doing January 30th, 2024? Are you going for January 30th, 2025? I don't know why it takes people a year to leave a job. That's absolutely crazy to me. I can understand it, I don't know. I just think that subjecting yourself to a full year, willingly subjecting yourself to a full year of toxic behavior, negativity, turmoil, health issues, whatever it is you're going to, you are openly, willingly, and knowingly saying, I'm going to do this foolishness for another year because I don't believe that I can do anything else. That's not true. That's not true. You've never been in a position to have to do anything else. So you don't know that you can do something else because doing something else requires you to get out of your comfort zone and to do something different. And we want to keep doing things the way that they are because that's more comfortable for us. So what is your timeline? What's the date? Put the date. If you know your date, put it in the chat now. What's your date? Put it in the chat now. Come on, y'all, put it in the chat. What's your date? Tell me what your date is. Is it May 30th, 2024? Is it 2025? Is it 2026? Oh my goodness, I hope it ain't past 2026. And then what are the challenges that you think you're going to encounter? This is part of developing your exit plan. You got to know what are the challenges. And if we can be really honest about what the challenges are, now, I know some of y'all know what obstacles you're going to encounter. For some of you all, you don't know how you're going to pay your bills. For some of you all, and can we be honest? You scared people going to talk about you. You're worried about what your mama going to say. I was scared to death because I said my mama is going to be so upset with me. She going to be like, girl, why are you trying to quit this good job? Because everybody tell you when you're in education that you got a good job, even though they know that we robbing Peter to pay Paul and that we don't have time for anything. So I want you to think about what are your challenges? What are the fears? What are the obstacles that you're going to have to overcome? There are, look at facilitating leaders. She said at the end of the 2023-2024 school year. What's the date of that? See, let's get real specific. What is the date? What's the date? As the teacher, when does your contract end? That should be your date. That should be your exit date. What day does your contract end? If you're on a 190-day contract, what's the date? What's your last day that you are due in the building? That is your exit date. So give the specific date and own it. Step into it. Speak it. You got to speak it out loud. So you got to put it out into the universe and you got to be excited about it. Like you should not be scared. Yeah, I'm leaving in 2020. Oh, this is the end. No, you got to be excited about it. I'm making a different decision. I'm moving into a new stage of life. I'm ready for part 2 of my life. I'm ready to move on. I'm entering phase 3. I'm entering chapter let's go. Whatever it is, you need to be excited about it because that's the energy that you want to attract back to yourself. You want to attract that same energy back. But if you're down, if you're down and depressed, If you are confused, if you are filled with anxiety, if you are questioning and second guessing, that's the same energy you're bringing into that decision. So we want to be excited because you've made a decision for yourself to move you forward and to get you out of a situation that no longer serves you. Those are good things. Those are good things. She says, my obstacles are deciding on what other streams of income I will encounter. And just make the decision. What is it that you're good at? What is it that you would love to do? What is it that you do right now that you would do even if you were not getting paid for it? What is that unnatural talent that the Lord gave you that he didn't give to other people? What makes you you? That's typically the thing that we should be doing. See, we lump ourselves into this thing called teaching, and then we say, I'm a teacher, and then we only do that. And we don't explore all these other things that we're able to do. When I was in the school system, the reason why I was able to move through roles so quickly is because I'm an extremely strategic person and I know how to take complex things and make them extremely simple. So that served me well in the classroom. I took those complex ideas in English language arts and I made them simple for students. So whether you were a high achiever or a low achiever, I could make it so simple that you could get it. And then I know how to get you engaged so that you will stick with it. Then when I became the instructional coach, I was working with adults then using the exact same skills, taking complex things and making them simple, helping the teachers to understand how these strategies will help students and how to break the strategy down so that it makes sense. So that worked. Then when I became the instructional facilitator, that meant that I was over instruction throughout the whole building, a high school building, and in subject areas that I've never worked in. But again, I know how to take the complex and make it simple. And I'm extremely strategic and I'm good with data. So I'm using my strengths. I'm not worrying about the fact that I've never taught math. I'm not worried about the fact that I've never taught science. I'm not worried about the fact that I've never taught world languages. I'm taking complex concepts and making them really simple and putting a strategy around it and sharing it out. So then when I became the assistant principal, same thing. When I became the building principal, same thing. The only thing that changed was the thing that I was making simple. The complex idea that I was taking and making it simple. That's the only thing that changed. The way I went about it continued to be the same. So if you think about what it is that you are really good at doing, that is just natural for you. It's a talent. Like people call you. People call me on the phone all the time. Chanel, I want to talk this through with you because they know that I'll listen and I'll take that complex issue that they're dealing with and I'll bring it down to the simplest form and they'll be able to make a decision because I'm not going to make the decision for you. My phone rings all the time. And now that I have boundaries, it doesn't ring as much. But guess what? It probably still rings more than yours does. But back in the day, I would have 10, 15 missed messages every day from people calling, wanting to talk to me to use my brain to think through their problem. Well, when it came time for me to think about how I'm going to make money, how I'm going to bring income in, let me use the strategy and skill that I'm really good at, and let me use that to make income. And what are the ways that I can use that to make income? Well, I can create a course, I can create an ebook, I can create a mastermind, all of the things. I'm really good at bringing communities together. I'm good at building community. That was one of the things that I learned in my principalship. I'm really good at building community. So you have to think about what are the things that you're really good at? What are the things that bring you joy? And then once you figure that out, then you'll be able to figure out how you can get paid to do it because then you can talk to other people about how to get paid to do it. Other people will give you ideas as well on how to get paid to do it. She said her exit date is May 24th, 2024. Come on, y'all. It's some more folks on here with me. What is your exit date? Because we're talking about the exit plan. And what are the challenges you think that you will encounter? You need to address this now so that it does not slap you in your face when you get ready to leave or think that you're leaving and learn that you are not. So let's figure it out now. Let's go ahead and figure it out now while you have help, while you have people who are here to help you. And let's not wait and and get sidetracked. So, what are your challenges? And then the last portion is, do you have a financial cushion? What is your financial cushion? What is your fallback plan? Like, what do you have one? See, my plan changed. So in the past, anything that happened, I could always depend on my mom. I could go and borrow a couple of $1,000s from her. Like if push come to shove, only if push come to shove, I know I got one little card that I can play. And then she died. My cards were all gone. When they put her in the ground, they put the card in there with her. And it made me realize that was my plan B. So now I need to create my own plan B for finances, that is, not for your career. So I had to say, okay, this is what I said to myself, and this may help somebody else because I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to have health insurance? How am I going to do all this? I don't have any money. I don't have a job. What if I don't find a job? What if I don't replace my income? And this is what I did. I went through the what if scenario. What if July comes and I don't have a job? And then I said, well, why would July come and I don't have a job? Or you're not applying, or you're not talking to people, or you're not out here, or you're not exploring different opportunities, or you're not on LinkedIn. So why would July come? What are the actions that you've taken to make sure that you have something set up? Have you talked to people? Have you let people know that you're in need of some support, that you need to transition into a new job? Have you explored other options outside of teaching? Because a lot of times we just look for other teaching jobs when, quite honestly, you can make a lot more money outside of teaching, doing some of the things that you love. So then I said, okay, well, all of that happened, but nobody called me back. So now what? Well, now a house note is due August, and I need to have it paid, preferably by August 15th, but at the latest by August 30th. So my cushion is until August 30th. So am I just sitting there twiddling my thumbs? No. If push came to shove, I always knew if I have to pull from my pension, I will. And we got to leave this mentality of, I know you're not supposed to touch your pension. And I am not telling you that this is the solution to all of your problems. But I am saying that you can't spend your pension if you're dead. Sometimes we need to know that we have something to fall back on if all else fails, especially as women, as mothers, as caregivers. I knew that it takes 30 days to pull money from my pension. This is a part of my exit plan. I'm just telling you what I did. I knew it took 30 days to pull from my pension. So I knew that if I didn't have anything by August 15th, I needed to submit that paperwork and pull some money from my pension so that I can make it through September and October. And if I'm going to pull some money from my pension, I'm going to make it enough to give me a 6-month cushion. Because in 6 months, I know I can make and bake something. I can make something happen. Okay, Sidra says we got a 5 to 6 month. Yeah, right. We got a 5 to 6 month run on the game plan. Right. And so we have time. You don't have to put this off until 2025, 2026. You need to make the decision. You need to start networking with people. You need to know what your bare minimum is. And we need to stop saying I'm going to replace my income. And we need to be excited about the choice that we've made for ourselves. And then we need to develop our exit plan. When are you submitting the resignation? When are you going to talk to your principal and let them know that you're not coming back? And just for those who need to know, it also ain't required. You can send that thing through email over to the HR department, and you ain't got to say nothing to your principal. I'm just saying, stop feeling like it's an obligation to talk to the principal. HR letter. This letter is to inform you that I will not be returning for the 2024-2025 school year. It has been a true experience working here, and I thank you for all that I've learned. I wish you nothing but the greatest success. You don't have to give any reason, any explanation. Submit it, send it through email to HR. You're done. You're done. HR will then notify your principal that they received a letter of resignation from Ms. Sidra Gaines, and then the principal can decide to come and say something to you, but at that point, it's done. At that point, it's done. And when the principal comes, all you got to do is say, "Yeah, I submitted my letter." Yeah, you don't have to explain your reasoning to anyone. Yeah, I submitted my letter. Now, some of y'all gonna say, "Well, what if I need references from my principal?" Listen here, persons. There are other people who can give you references other than your principal. I need us to stop thinking that. Anybody who can attest to your work can give you a reference. If they want to call previous supervisors, let them call the previous supervisor. The principal must say what it is. They can only answer the questions, first of all. And then if they speak derogatorily about you, again, in a way that will keep you from getting a job, they can only answer the questions. Then you got another lawsuit. You have another lawsuit. So when they say on a scale, they might say on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate this person? And they might say a 5, a 4, a 3, a 1, a 0, and 10 was the highest. Well, that's going to be a negative rating. But then if you have two additional ratings from two other people where those are positive, when the people call you, you can be honest and let them know, "I left my last job on rocky terms. I left, I turned in my resignation. Me and the principal did not see eye to eye. We did not value the same things when it came to education. And I'm okay with that, which is why I chose to leave. I was not forced out. And I made a different choice for myself. And I hope that you can see past that. But I can tell you this: staying is not serving you. Being scared is not serving you. Know what your financial plan is. I'm sorry, know what your exit plan is. What is the date? Pansy already said May 24th, 2024. What are the challenges that you're likely going to experience? And I'm also talking about the emotional challenges. Are you worried about people judging you? Are you worried about what your family's going to say? Are you worried about what your spouse is going to say? Look here. Why are you worried about it? Why? Those are issues within yourself. And we need to be excited about the decision. We need to figure out if we have a financial cushion, what is it? And even if not, this is the thing that I'm going to tell you. The Lord done made it, done helped me make it through all of my worst days. All of my worst days. That's right, Sidra. Sidra, that's the thing that most people don't know. She said most administrators won't take the risk of giving negative feedback. That's the thing that most teachers don't know. We go through these HR trainings. See, as a teacher, you've only ever been a teacher. But as a principal or a school administrator, we've been a teacher and we've been on the opposite side. So we've been in your role, but you've never been in our role. So as administrators, we have to go through these trainings and they tell us what's going to happen if we speak negatively of you. They tell us what words we can and cannot say. And we know that if the lawsuit comes to the district, we losing our job too. So most people are, first of all, you ready to go. They want to see you go. They're going to give you the good review just so you can move on and be out of their hair and they can find the teacher that they really needed in their classroom. But on the other end, most of us are not going to risk speaking negatively of you, because if that person who I'm on the phone with goes back and says to you, "Well, Sidra, I was considering you for this position, but after I talked to your previous principal, Dr. DeBose, she said that you're always late, you're this, you're that, and so we're unable to bring you on." All Sidra has to do is go get an attorney. And if I cannot prove that she was all of those things that I said she was, that's the lawsuit I lost. I'm fired. The district is sued, and the amount, they're not suing for 10,000 or for 60,000. They're suing for distress. They're suing for loss of pay. They're suing for all of these other things. So let's understand that a lot of times we overthink what's really going to happen. We overthink it. So get your exit plan together, and then stop running your mouth to people who can't help you. Stop running up. That 22-year-old girl can't help you. Why are you over there? Why are you telling your students that you leaving? That's not helpful. That's not helpful. Stop running your mouth. Everybody is not going to be happy for you. Everybody is not going to be happy for you. Just know that and be okay with that. But you need to be happy for you. If you're not happy for you, how can anybody else be happy for you? When it was time for me to leave, look here. I was like, okay, I'm on the countdown. Baby, when I got to that 90-day countdown, and then to that 60-day countdown, and then to the 30-day countdown, I was super excited about the new journey I was about to embark on. I was excited about the growth that I was about to experience. I was excited about the ability to be able to build and create something. Those are the things that made me excited. And so those are the only things that I talked about. I didn't talk about the other stuff. I didn't talk about I'm nervous, I'm scared, I don't know how I'm gonna pay my August rent, I don't know how I'm gonna put my kids in school. I didn't bring life to that. We got to stop bringing life to things that we do not want to exist in our lives. I only talked about the things that I was excited about, and I only talked to people who could move me forward and who were excited with me. They were excited with me. I remember I was talking to this lady, Dr. Crystal Riddle, and super excited for me. She was like, "Girl, you about to have you an amazing time. You finna have so much time." And one of the things that I was struggling with was I'm not gonna have summers off. Do you know that lady looked at me, and this is what really helped me. And this was in March of 2018 is when I met her. That lady looked at me. I met her in Greensboro, South Carolina. Uh, no, Greensboro, North Carolina. That lady looked at me and she said, "Child," she's Southern. She said, "Child, you worried about summers off." She was like, "How many days in summer you get off?" She said, "Child, you finna have as many days as you want off. You trying to keep a summer and giving up the rest of the calendar." I had not thought about it like that. And you know what? To this day, she is right. I have not thought about having a summer off since, because guess what? I get half of the year off. I work 125, 150 days out of the year, and the rest of the time I'm off. But I was willing to exchange a summer for the whole year. There are 365 days in a year. This year we get 366 days. And I was worried about a summer. What I failed to realize was that I get some Mondays off, some Tuesdays off, whatever days that I want off, I can have off. Because as a consultant, I don't work 5 days a week. So if I work one day a week doing PDs in school, I've had an amazing month. If I do 4 PDs in 1 month, I will have made more than any teacher that everybody knows, just working 4 days in a month. I will have made almost as much as any principal at even some of the highest paid schools. And if I do 4 days every month for 10 months, that's 40 days out of the year. Don't y'all know that I'm well over the 6 figures at that point? Well over. So I want you to know that you can quit teaching in 2024. You do not have to wait to 2025, 2026, 2027. You don't need permission to retire. When they say 25, 30 years, that's how long they have conditioned you to believe that you need to stay. But your pension is going to be the same. And when we stay, we give them money back because that's money that they should be paying out to us. We're robbing ourselves blind. Many of us are ready to do things that we wanted to do, but we couldn't do because we had children at home. We were raising a family, and now we're in midlife. Our children are grown or near grown. We are able to do some things. Why do we keep putting things off? And we know that as we get older, it's not a given that your health will decline, but we know that we don't feel the same at 40 as we felt at 20. We know that our energy level at 40 is not the same as it was at 20. So if we can be honest, we know at 60, our energy level is not going to be the same as it was at 40. So why are we waiting until we're 60, 65, 70 years old to decide to travel? Do you know what it's like trying to get through that airport? Baby, I was at that Atlanta airport and I was in Concourse A and had to make it to Concourse E. Do you know that was a 31-minute brisk walk? You think you're going to do that at 75? Do you think you're going to do that at 75? I just want us to understand the experience is different. Experience the things that bring you joy during a time where you can truly enjoy it and when it can truly grow you and help you to change your perspective on life. If I'm 75 and I'm just not going to Thailand, guess what? I can't even use the information that I learned because I'm 75 now. But going to Thailand at 40, it gives you a different perspective. Going anywhere and having a different cultural experience, learning from other people, and being able to take those things and apply it to your life and live in a different way, it's so valuable. I love to travel, as you can see. But we have to understand that there are pivotal points where we should be doing things. And we've been so conditioned that you go to school, get a good education, stay there for 30 years, retire, and live your good life. How you living your good life off that pension, sis? How you living your good life off $2,500 a month? How you living your good life off $3,000 a month? If you could not live the good life on your full check 2 times a month, how are you going to live the good life on one check that's less than the check was that you were getting? Make it make sense, because it does not. It does not. So that's my message. That's all I got. I ain't got no more. And I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope that you will subscribe to the channel, share the channel with other people. I plan to come here every Saturday morning and do a live session with you all. If you have topics that you want me to talk about, put it in the comments. I will discuss it in depth. There is so much room at the top. It's the bottom that's full. There is enough work, enough income, enough money out here for all of us. Abundance is your birthright. You have to be willing to remember that. The school system has convinced us that it's all about lack. It's all about taking away. It's all about not enough. That's not true. Abundance is your birthright. And so if you tell me what topics you want me to talk about, I will come here and I will talk about it. I will give you the full tea on it. I will give you the truth, not that stuff that people try to make fluff over and make it look good. I will give you the truth. So if you have something that you want me to talk about, put it in the comments. I'll come back and check the comments, see if there are any topics that you all want me to address. And also join our Launch Your Ed Consulting Biz Challenge on January 15th through the 19th. The link is in the comments. Go ahead and the link is in the description. Is going to help you to know what your options are and how to use your skills in a different way. I would love to see you in the challenge. Or in the mastermind. We do events to try to help educators to know that they have different options and to show you real live examples of people who have left education and are able to live a magnificent life. So she says, Saturday morning coffee chat. I love, that's right. Pansy, you the one who told me to do this. Pansy told me to do this. So here I am on Saturday morning because Pansy said, get it done, Dr. D. And I appreciate and love Pansy for that because I needed to do it. So I thank you, Pansy, for giving me a little fire to get me going and suggesting the idea to me. Y'all have a good rest of your day and share this live and give me some comments and some hearts and stuff. Like this page so that other people can see it and we can get these numbers up. Talk to y'all later.